Hi, Robert Giles from Spoods and stuff here. I've been asked to take part in the latest episode of Petrock Asks, and Amy's asked me 3 questions, so without further ado, let's get on with them.
Hi everyone, Amy here from Pet Rock and Roll. This is the 9th episode of Petrock Asks, and today I'm going to be joined by Mr. Robert Giles from Spoods and Stuff. So I'm just going to jump right in and ask that first question, which is, Robert, please tell me, when did you first start keeping inverts?
I first started keeping inverts after the Southern Invert show last year. That was the first time I actually bought a tarantula, or any other kind of invert for that matter. I started keeping them because I've been interested in them for quite a while, but I've never actually plucked up the courage to keep my own because I wasn't sure if I'd actually have the right sort of knowledge or expertise to care for them, if you like. But after watching other people's YouTube channels and watching their own experiences of keeping tarantulas, I actually plucked up the courage to go out and start collecting my own, and I haven't looked back.
That's just crazy. I keep seeing this with all of the YouTubers that have been, well, most of the YouTubers being involved in this series, that they have only been keeping inverts for such a short amount of time, but yet seem so comfortable and professional with them. It must just be the passion that comes out in us that just shows that we feel, relaxed and, well, kind of relaxed, I'd say. At times we're not relaxed, especially when rehousing. Well, that's for me anyway. But yeah, no, that's great. But just blows my mind that you've only been doing it for just about a year. So, but anyway, I wanted to then ask you, so my second question is, would you... No, I'm only joking. We know what it is. Show me a tarantula and tell me all about it.
This is my Homioma chilensis, my female, Chilean flame dwarf, I think the common name is. Now, she's one of my favourites because of her temperament, really. She's just so chilled out, so relaxed. The lid's off her enclosure at the moment. She's not bolting. She's just generally not moving, but she's always like this. She's always really calm and collected. She does quite often come out of her enclosure when I take the lid off, but as happens when you always try to film them, they don't want to play ball. But she does actually come out and wander around quite a lot. I've always liked dwarf tarantulas. Not sure why a lot of people don't like them because of the fact that they're not big, scary looking spiders, but I think some of the dwarfs are the most beautiful species out there, and I think this one is an absolutely stunning example. You can see that little orange patch on her abdomen, which is where they get the name flame rump from. The one thing I've learned about this little tarantula is that this species seems to like a lot of room. I mean, she's only about 3 inches in leg span, at best really, but the setup she's in compared to the size of the spider, as you can see, is quite large, but she does like a lot of room to wander around in. She's currently renovating this enclosure. She's digging up all sorts of new holes and channels and burying a water dish like they all seem to do. But yeah, I would say the one thing, if you're going to look after this particular species, is give it a lot of room, because they do seem to like to wander. I don't really keep it in any kind of heated environment. I keep it the same as I keep all the rest of my tarantulas. The room that I keep them in is kept at 20-21 degrees, and they all seem to do absolutely fine in that. But yeah, I just thought I'd show her off and just show you why I like her so much.
Oh, your H. chilensis. She is adorable. I've seen her a few times in some of your videos, and I always think I have to get myself one of those because they just look so amazing. And I agree, dwarf tarantulas are beautiful, and they are one of my favourites too. I have a few of them, but I don't have that one, so fingers crossed, maybe in the future. Perhaps need to extend my house a little bit though, because I'm running out of space. Also, I thought to myself when you said normally she comes out when you open the lid. Now you see, this time she said, "Dad, I'm going to be on Petrock Asks, so I'll sit still for you and be a good girl. Though it would have been cool if she'd have come out, but never mind, she just showed off her colours. She was beautiful. Thank you so much for showing her to me. So Robert, my third and final question to you is, tell me, what are your top 3 inverts? Now this can be inverts you've got or inverts you haven't got, just your top 3.
My top 3 inverts. The first would obviously have to be tarantulas, because that's mainly what I keep. The reason being, obviously there's so much variety in the hobby, so many different species you can collect. But the one thing I like about tarantulas is they're not your usual pet. You know, you can't tame them. There's always that wild nature to them. It's not like a cat or a dog where you can teach it to, well, you think they understand you, you hope they understand you, but you can't teach it to do anything, you can't train it to do anything. It's that whole wild nature that I like in the animal itself. The second would have to be, again, spiders, but more sort of true spiders. I mean, I've got about 4 or 5 in my collection now, and it's the same sort of reason with tarantulas. It's the whole fascination with watching them go about their business, watching them build webs, watching them hunt. There's something fascinating about watching them. They really do captivate me. The third on my list would have to be scorpions. It's not something I keep at the moment, but it's something I intend to get into. Maybe at one of the shows I'll pick a scorpion up and it'll start snowballing from there like it does with the tarantulas. But the scorpions, they just fascinate me because they look like they should belong with the dinosaurs. There's something quite prehistoric about the way they look, and I like that. I just love the way they look, the way they move, the way they hunt. It's different from any other animal, really, and that's why they fascinate me so much.
Yeah, totally agree with you there. Tarantulas have got to be the most favourite invert for me as well. I love that you said that you like them because they can't be domesticated, but wouldn't it be awesome if we could teach them tricks? Imagine that. We could do like beg, sit, make good YouTube videos, wouldn't it? Also, with the scorpions, you see, now scorpions have never really been a thing for me, although I'm starting to get intrigued by them. Now, once I get intrigued by something, I then have to find out all about it and then end up getting them and end up having loads. So I'm trying to kind of squash that in my brain and don't be intrigued by them. You have no room. So that concludes this episode, and thank you so much, Robert, for coming on board. It's been fantastic putting it together with you. I'm going to pop a link to his channel in the description. Please do go over and check him out. He's got some great videos, and obviously, as you saw, he has a beautiful cat called Chase, who often features in his videos, whether Robert likes it or not. So my next episode is going to feature a YouTuber who, over the past few weeks, has absolutely blown up. So yes, his channel has grown massively in the last couple of weeks. Can you guess who it is? I'll let you think about that one, and until I see you next time, I'm going to pop you over to Robert now for my outro. So take care of yourselves. Bye!
Thank you once again for asking me to take part in this series. I appreciate that. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to myself, to Pet Rock and Roll more importantly, and I'll see you again soon.